Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live training all about why and how to start with email marketing. It's a great platform. It's a great marketing strategy. So if you're not using it, hopefully we can get you set up today to kind of start implementing it and get a sense of how it can help you inside of your business. So I guess without further ado, I can get started with why we want to get into email marketing. So hands up, who is currently using email marketing? And I don't mean that you have an account and that you're not using it. I mean like you're sending an email once a week, maybe even once a month. Let me know in the comments. You don't have to be like super into it, just as long as you've kind of like gotten your feet wet and started, quote unquote, using email marketing. Okay, so while that happens, I'll get into essentially some of the top reasons why you want to use email marketing and how it's going to help you inside of your business. So the number one or the first reason is because you land straight into your leads inbox. So when it comes to that, as long as you have a very catchy subject line, something that's interesting and kind of like gets people curious about it, people are going to click in your email. And once they're inside that email that you've sent, there's no like scrolling, no deep like Instagram hole that people can get distracted with different things. They are there because of you, and they're there to read whatever it is that you got to share with them, whether it's educational value, maybe something entertaining, maybe you have an update to share, whatever it might be. You've created a one-on-one personal connection with these people. If it's something that you're kind of curious about and you're thinking, maybe I should get into email marketing, I'm here to convince you today as to why you want to and why it's actually not that overwhelming. Like, it does not to be hard. I don't want it to be hard, because the last thing I want you guys to do is to take on too many tasks. What I want is for you to take tasks on that are actually going to move the needle forward and help you land more clients. So I won't overwhelm, I promise. For any of you guys that don't have a welcome sequence, I'll actually share towards the end of the training like a simple way to get started with that, so you can have, whenever you have somebody sign on to your email marketing, like your newsletter essentially, you'll have a quick and easy email sequence that you can follow. It's just a tiny blueprint, so feel free to snag that and you can start implementing it right away. And with your comment to sending one once a month, that's actually totally fine. I believe more in building habits. So whether that means you're sending one email once a month just to update them on, hey, maybe you had a new blog post, or this is what's happening. Maybe you have some open spots left for May, June, July, whenever it is. That's perfectly fine, as long as you're essentially reminding your audience that you exist, you're here, and you're open for business. So I absolutely love that. So at the end of the day, if you guys feel that, hey, this is useful, but you're not ready to implement it today, that's perfectly fine. Just go ahead and take some notes, so at least you have a little bit of like a quick guide on how to get started. And then once you're ready and you know that this is the right priority for you going forward, then you can go ahead and implement it, and you're not going to be either stuck or hemming and hawing as to why you would even want to get into email marketing in the first place. So we mentioned you land inside of your leads inbox. Another reason why this is important is because you can use this to nurture these leads and then sell to. If you were here in last week's training, we talked about how many times, or if you're showing up at all in like a salesy, and I know salesy is not the nicest word, but if you're selling at all, are you asking people for that sell and to sign on as clients? So email marketing is one of those things that you can actually use in order to nurture, educate, and make that sale. So what I love about it is, I'll tell you guys a little bit of like a story when it comes to me and selling. On a day-to-day basis, one of the platforms that I use the most is Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram are kind of like my main ones. So on Instagram, I love showing up on posts almost every single day, and stories, I try my best to do it every single day, because you want to make sure to be kind of top of mind and really building those constant connections with people. So I love that. The problem is that on a regular day, show up, no problem. I can share maybe a behind the scenes of what I'm working on, whatever it might be. The problem comes up when I'm in the middle of the launch. So that could be maybe I'm launching because I have a new offer, or I have new spots available inside of a program, or maybe I want to book discovery calls, whether that is coaching, whether that is brand design, whatever it might be. So when it comes to launching, it is a common, let's see, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but whatever. It's the standard is to show up even more consistently than usual and talk about it even more, because it takes several times for somebody to hear about something, aka your offer, in order for them to actually, one, start considering it, and two, actually take action. So when you're in launch mode, you're showing up so much that it actually becomes exhausting. So during launch, there can be so many instances in which you almost give up, stop showing up, especially if you're not seeing the results that you were hoping for. And even if you just killed it and you mastered it for, let's say you were launching for a week or two and you did it beautifully, by the end of that, I've experienced serious hangover from the launch, that I'm drained. I don't want to show up anymore. I don't want to sell anymore. I don't want to do any of my typical strategies that I have around attracting clients or leads and then nurturing and converting. That then, even if I was really successful during launch, there's a dip after where not many things happen because I'm so exhausted. So why am I telling you all of this? The reason is that with email marketing, it's one more way to then, like I said, attract the leads, nurture them, and sell to them. But through this method, you're not actually exerting any extra energy. So you're protecting that energy so that then you can show up still powerfully. You can still make sure to have a really good strategy inside of your email marketing to help convert those leads, but you're not showing up 24/7. So it's much more strategic and thoughtful the way that you show up so that you can protect that energy. So that's one of the reasons I absolutely love email marketing, and one of the reasons you might want to consider it for your own business. So another reason why is because you can use it to offer and provide freebies to your audience. So I'm actually really curious, how many of you have freebies already inside of your business? Comment below. I'd love to know. And the reason being is because if you are serious about email marketing, that is one of the easiest ways to build a list. You're providing free value, whether that be like a how-to guide, it could be tips and tricks of your industry or tips and tricks for your client's industry. It could be like fun facts. Really, as long as you're providing something that kind of meets some sort of need, even if it's small, you have to essentially either give them the tools to solve some immediate problem, or show them that it is possible by doing XYZ. So at least they're interested in a little bit more. And that a little bit more typically has to do with you and your offers and how it is that you can help bring about that transformation. So let me know in the comments how many of you have a freebie. If you don't know, like if you don't have a freebie, let me know. I'm super curious about this because the rest of the seminar will touch a little bit on freebies and how those incorporate into email marketing. Okay, so there's actually this debate when it comes to freebies, and it's whether to have a lot of them or to just have one. Now, I don't believe there's ever like a right answer, because I honestly believe that any theory, strategy, tip, whatever you want to call it, has to be tailored to the specific person in business. However, I do see the value in having one very either powerful freebie, and if you want to have more, you can have like little like smaller ones. Or alternatively, if it's not like something crazy powerful, just a freebie that is enticing enough and is very strategically thought out so that it directs clearly and simply into your most like your most popular offer or your signature offer, whatever it is that you want to promote the most. Have a freebie that leads to that. That's one of the most helpful like tips that I can give you when it comes to freebies, just generically, because then you make sure that there's a purpose for that freebie. And I'm definitely guilty of this. I've created freebies in the past where I'm sure they were valuable, like they were interesting, they were fun, they were whatever, but they had no purpose. It was just to like randomly help people. And although that's very nice, again, as what I was saying earlier on in the training, is I like to make sure that, especially when your time is very limited and precious and it's only you working on your business, you don't have VAs, you don't have anybody helping you, is to pick activities that are going to help. So when you're picking a freebie, make sure you're picking something that is going to help your business and is going to direct the people, the audience, and the people that are opting into this freebie into one of your services. Haven't made a freebie in a while. Okay, not to worry. So that's something that you can either refresh an old freebie if you had some in the past, which sounds like you did. there's nothing wrong with essentially enhancing and pulling, whether it's previous freebies or previous content that you've shared inside social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, wherever that may be, or even with past clients. There could be something that you can essentially spin, repackage into a freebie, and then put that out there. So it doesn't have to be that complicated essentially, or that time consuming to come up with the right freebie. So my next question is going to be, actually, before we move forward, the last reason why you want email marketing is because you actually own your email list. So this is probably the most powerful one. I don't know if you guys have heard this before. You probably have. I know a lot of people, especially ones that really believe in the power of email marketing, they'll stick to this essentially selling point, which is, yes, you own it. Because if you think about it, all the other social media platforms, whether that's, again, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even your website, if it's not self-hosted, it could disappear one day, right? So if it disappears, you lose your entire contact list, and you no longer have that nurtured audience that you can then sell to, whether it's recurring clients, new clients, whatever they might be. With your email list, however, if, let's say, the email marketing platform disappears, you will have, in theory, downloaded a copy of that mailing list that you had and all those connections, and you can then go ahead and easily utilize it again. So whether that means find a new email marketing platform, worst case scenario, send manual emails, you still have that very nicely nurtured and relationship built with those people, with that audience. On the other hand, social media platforms, if, let's say, Instagram disappears tomorrow, you won't be able to find all those people. And even if you know exactly who those people are, let's say you have an amazing lead tracking system and you know exactly who you follow, who follows you, there's no guarantee that those people are gonna then jump on the train and with whatever new platform comes up, like social media related. So even if Instagram goes away and now all of a sudden TikTok is the next like business social media platform, there's no guarantee that that same audience is going to be on TikTok. So even if you were to know who they are, you've lost that audience, and you've now lost this essentially funnel into your business. So email marketing, definitely a great thing to get started with. So my question was going to be, for those of you that have had freebies or have one right now, what do you do with it after? So the reason I'm asking this question is because the way that I alluded, that the best way to pick a freebie is to make sure that it's transformational, but at a minimum directs to your key and signature offering, is that you're intended to do something with it after. And that thing that you're supposed to do in theory is to nurture that audience. Because if you're just giving away free value for no reason, and you're at a minimum not building connections, I'm not saying that they have to be clients. It can just be collaboration opportunities. It can be friends. It can be connections to other future clients. It doesn't matter. It's not all about getting clients. And this is something that you'll hear me say plenty of times, because I'm a big believer in just making friends, at least at the minimum. And then if any of that turns into collaborations, referrals, or clients, that's incredible. But you got to look at people as real people and not just as numbers. And that's one of the biggest takeaways, other than email marketing and all that stuff that we're going to talk about today. So what are you doing with that freebie? I will essentially, through this training, walk through what it is that you should do. So this is something that perhaps you guys want to take some notes on, but essentially what I want you to do is to get the opt-ins into your email marketing through that freebie. I want to nurture these people, and then I want you to sell. Because if you're not asking for money, essentially, you're not asking for clients, then you can't expect to have a successful business, because you're just giving away a lot of free value, which is amazing. I'm also a big believer in free value. However, you want to make sure that, at least for the right people, whether it's that you can really help transform their business, there's something that they're struggling with, that you're just the go-to person and you know exactly how to fix that problem so they can move past it and then go ahead and grow their business even further. You want to make sure that for the right people, you offer them your service, your genius, your whatever, because you're doing them a disservice if you don't offer them that chance to work with you, because they're going to continue to struggle and feel stuck in their business and feel like they can't move forward. Because typically, if people have a what you want to call a pain point, a struggle, something that is like a barrier inside of their business, if they're not moving past it, either they don't have the skills to do so, or it's like one of those like mindset things. I know you may hear about this a lot, but where you have all the tools, but either you don't have the accountability to make sure you're pushing forward and actually taking action, or you don't have the belief that you can actually implement those strategies and actually get past this barrier that you're having inside of your business. So there's many things that can hold you back. So if you're the person giving the freebie, giving the value, giving the whatever, you want to make sure that then you're nurturing these people. And this can all be done through email marketing. I know there's like social media can feel a little bit more personal, and I'm definitely a big advocate of that. But if we're looking at email marketing at a way to, one, have a way to sell with a platform that you own, and two, having a way to sell that's more passive in a sense, because you're drafting an entire sequence that people, every time somebody signs up new to your freebies, they will get that sequence. So whether you create the freebie today or somebody signs up to that freebie in 6 months, they will still be nurtured and you don't have to do anything about it. So that's like magic. It's running on autopilot. So that's something that you definitely, if you can find different ways inside of your business to automate things and make sure that you're essentially attracting, nurturing, and selling on autopilot, you want to take advantage of that, because that's how you're going to allow more time inside of your business to then focus on other tasks and jobs and clients that take priority, and they're going to bring you even more money into your business. So be strategic, be smart about this, and make sure you're picking tasks that are going to do the work for you, as opposed to picking tasks that literally every single time you have to spend all day working on it, because you're the only one that's, one, able to, and two, it's tasks that are so repetitive because they don't give you a future return on investment. You do this on Instagram today, tomorrow no one's going to see it. Then tomorrow you do this on Instagram, the next day no one's going to see it. So be smart about the tasks that you're taking on. That way you can be the most successful inside of your business. Right now, it's sharing blog posts they might find useful and inviting them to reply and ask questions. Still need to create a selling part though. Okay, that's perfect. That's a really good, the fact that you have blog posts to begin with is incredible, because I mean, we won't go crazy into detail with this, but if you're interested, if you're not already using Pinterest, that's a great way as a search engine to get people to then find your blog posts, find your website and your offers and all that, and at a minimum, sign up to your newsletter, and two, at maximum, I guess, become paying clients. So that's actually a great system that you have going on right now. But I agree, you need to embed some sort of nurturing. So providing value in a weekly, I think you said monthly, right? Once a month, on a monthly basis, that's amazing. So now it's about coming up with, okay, so how can you share value in a different way and in a strategic way that it essentially touches on pain points and nurtures them and brings them down the funnel, so that eventually when they see your offer, they'll want to sign up for it. So we'll go down that towards the end of the training when I talk about the simple welcome sequence, but that should be pretty helpful. You love Pinterest. It's the highest driver of traffic to my site. That's amazing. That's so wicked. I have a friend who's a Pinterest manager, and I always see her results on her stories on Instagram, and I'm just like mind blown. Like the amount of traffic that she generates for her own clients through Pinterest, it's incredible. I'm actually getting into Pinterest now. The past, a week, I think, I've been creating a bunch of, well, not me, but you know what I mean? We've been putting together all my Pinterest, like descriptions, titles, what are they going to lead to? It's going to be absolutely amazing. Usually it does take a little while to see the return on investment and to see the click-throughs to the site once you're first getting started. But once you've got that platform on Pinterest, it is like magic, and you'll get so much more traffic and then clients into your business. So I love that you're already using Pinterest to do that. So how to use email marketing. So I think at this point, we've already kind of mentioned it through either questions or my ramblings, but essentially is one of the easiest ways is create that freebie, create a quick landing page through either your website or through an email marketing platform, and get people to sign up to that freebie so that they join your subscriber and your mailing list. So At this point, you have now attracted the leads. The next thing you want to do is nurture them through either a weekly or monthly blog. Ideally, I would say that once a week is a little bit better, because I would fear that once a month, especially if these are new leads that you've attracted, they might forget your name. So unfortunately with emails, I know a lot of people subscribe to a lot of freebies and a lot of different courses, programs, whatever they might be signing up to. So their email inboxes, I'm not gonna lie, tend to be pretty saturated. So that is why, one, it's so important to have catchy subject lines to make sure that you're really touching on something, whether it's a pain point or some sort of emotional connection, so that they want to click through and read your email. But two, it's also why it's so important, once you get that person to sign up to your first thing, freebie, whatever it is, have a nurturing sequence, like a welcome sequence, so that they see your name repetitively enough that even after that, if you just jump into their inbox once a month or once a week or whatever it might be, whatever level you're at a minimum, they will already have a good sense of who you are and they'll remember you. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've had that happen where I've signed up for something that was free and there was no emails after, like there was no sequence, no nothing. And then down the line, I saw an email and I was like, who's Karen? I'm like, who's, no. So I felt horrible, but I still have it unsubscribed, I'll be honest. I couldn't bring myself to it, because I was like, I'm sure I signed up to something that I thought was valuable, but I haven't read her emails. And there's no Karen. It's just, there's a million people that I've subscribed to that I don't actually read into. But then there's a couple key ones that either the freebie was super valuable or their emails are just like mind blowing. And those are the people that I continuously click on their emails whenever they show up in my inbox, because I know without a doubt that their content is going to be valuable and that I'm going to get something out of it, whether free or I'll find out about something that could be a paid offer that I definitely would find value in and would want to sign up for. So that being said, back onto the non-tangent on email marketing. So you got the emails through the freebie, you're nurturing through a weekly or a monthly, whether it's notification that you had a blog, some free value, which you can repurpose from your Instagram, your Facebook, and all that. It's easy. Once you get into repurposing content, it becomes so much easier to quote unquote create new stuff, because you're not creating. You're just grabbing the caption from your Instagram post and making it longer, or adding a point, removing a point. You're just making it a little bit different to cater to that new audience or that different avenue stream that you have. So you got the email, you're nurtured, now you sell. So this is essentially the simple framework when it comes to why or how to use email marketing. When it comes to selling, there's so many things you can do. Like I mentioned, inside of my own business, this can apply to you as well. It could be you have new spots available for your service. So maybe let's say you're booked up until June. You have 3 spots. Why not tell that to your email, like your audience? These are people that have signed up to your emails for a reason and are following you for a reason. So there's a chance that they're looking for a designer, a photographer, a coach, whatever it is that you are doing inside of your business. But because they didn't know you had spots available, maybe they just didn't think it was the right time, or they didn't consider it. And as soon as they see, oh, you only have 2 spots available in June, okay, maybe I should redouble check her website. Maybe I should reach out. Maybe I should inquire and see if maybe we're a good fit. So just planting that seed inside of their head, selling to your audience, is what could make a difference from just having people blindlessly absorb your content and actually go ahead, reach out, send you a message, whatever, book a call, and actually sign a contract with you. So telling them that you have spots available, great way of doing that. Another thing that you can do with selling is you can generate like a wait list for a new offer that you might have coming down the pipeline, or you can do like a launch sequence where you're talking about a course, a new offer, maybe have some sort of passive income streams, like whether it's a course or maybe like templates, ebooks, that kind of stuff, right? So there's so many different things that you can sell through email marketing that can actually help you land that client. So we talked a little bit about the why and the how. Now I want to talk about platforms. So for those of you guys that are using email marketing, even if it's just a little bit, what platform are you using currently? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. I have used 2 so far. One, and I'll share with you, one that I wasn't too happy about. It was just, a little bit messier on the back end to create the emails and make sure that I had a good sequence going. And I've since changed to a different platform. Don't get me wrong, like they're all amazing in their own ways. But the new platform that I'm using now, I'm much more in love with it. And it's amazing how simple it is to go, oh, hey, whenever somebody signs up to X, send this. If not, send that. Like it's so simple. It's beautiful. It's plain. The design capabilities on it aren't that extensive, but it's beautiful. It's amazing. I love it. So let me know, what email marketing platform are you currently using? So email platforms, there's a lot of them. However, the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, 2 I've used, 1 I haven't. So the first is MailChimp. That is a super popular. Oh, I can actually think of 4 of them. Regardless, MailChimp, that's the one I was on before. It did work totally fine for a certain period of time, but I will be honest, so that's the one that I didn't quite like the way that I could create systems and essentially automations with the different emails that I wanted to send inside of a sequence. So I did ditch it. When did I ditch it? I want to say sometime mid last year, and I've been much happier ever since. So if you're using MailChimp and you love it, nothing against it, but if you're finding a couple like issues with it, feel free to reach out to me. I might be able to have a conversation with you about why it is that I switched to MailerLite, which I love way more. So you are on ActiveCampaign, now Flowdesk. Okay, so Flowdesk was going to be the one, it was my 3rd one on the list, and then there was ConvertKit. So Flowdesk, I've heard amazing things about. Apparently, it is much easier to design something beautifully that can match your brand a little bit better. So it's definitely a big upsell for visual people and especially brand designers. But I haven't crazy looked into it. From the one time I did jump on their website, I believe it was paid right off the bat. There was some sort of free trial, but I don't recall that it was ongoing. Where there are platforms like MailChimp and MailerLite, those you actually get free access to almost everything on the platform for up to X amount of subscribers. So I believe it's like 1,000 on one of them and 2,000 on the other. So you get much more access for free, especially if you're just kind of getting your feet wet with email marketing and you're not sure if you're going to, 1, be consistent with it, or 2, make any money off of it. So definitely love MailerLite because of that, but I've heard amazing things about Flowdesk. Let me know how you're liking, because I haven't, now that you mentioned ActiveCampaign, I have heard of that. I just haven't heard many people use it. But I'd love to know how Flowdesk is going. I've heard really good things from 2 or 3 people. But yeah, I haven't explored it myself, like I said. So do you guys now want a simple sequence on how to get started, nurture these new subscribers, and make sure that they remember your name and they're kind of aware of who you are, what you do, what you have to offer, so that when you go ahead and send an email, whether that's your recurring weekly or monthly, hey, I have a blog, hey, I have spots left, hey, here's some free value, they actually know who you are and they're willing to go ahead and open your email up and hear from you in the first place. Let me know if you want to hear that. I'll definitely, it's like a 5-step welcome sequence. Pretty simple. Make sure to write it down. I have no issue sharing that with you. And if you have any questions about email marketing, any of this, like if you wanted to go a little bit above and beyond what we've been discussing or anything like that, let me know. I can share that either within this training, or we can always create something separate if it's a little bit more in depth, the kind of questions that you're having. But so as background, the simple, I always mess up my words. The simple email sequence that I'm going to share with you guys today is the perfect thing to start people off of. So if you have that freebie or just something basic that you're getting people to opt in, like maybe you just have a simple subscribe button on your email that doesn't direct anywhere, on your website that doesn't direct anywhere, but you still are generating leads through that because people want to hear from you. This is a perfect welcome sequence to use. It doesn't have crazy amount of purpose. And the reason I'm saying that is that if you're having a big launch or there's like a big thing that you're trying to like generate interest towards, your email sequence is going to look much more complex than what I'm going to share with you today. So this is more essentially the basic framework that you want just to welcome generic people or freebie people when you're not necessarily trying to like sell something more high ticket or like a course or anything like that. This is just like, I would utilize it more just to welcome people into your audience, as well as if you want to get them on free calls, that's perfectly fine, because I'll go through how to nurture them in order to get them to want to jump on a free discovery call to hear more about your services. So definitely would use it for that. I don't think there was free. Okay, with Flowdesk, yeah. But it's the same price regardless of how many subscribers you have. It doesn't have nearly as many options as ActiveCampaign, but it's so easy to create beautiful emails. I really liked ActiveCampaign, but it was too expensive for how much I was using it. I get that. And that's actually really amazing that it's the same price regardless of how many subscribers, because that's one of the things that I see on most email marketing platforms. And it's that, yes, they'll have free to like 1,000 and 2,000 subscribers, but then after that, it's like tiers. So it's almost like you get penalized for having more, like a larger audience, which makes no sense. Like, yes, you'll likely making more money so you can afford it, but it's like, don't penalize me for having a successful business. Like, what? But let's be honest, I feel like that's how most subscription-based software works. It's the more sales or the more subscribers or the bigger audience, whatever it is that you have, you usually get charged more. But I love to hear that Flowdesk is doing things differently. But yeah, they should definitely come up with like at least a little bit of like a free option, because otherwise, I'm sure there's a lot of people transferring over to Flowdesk. When they hit the 1,000 or the 2,000 mark, it's a whole process. You have to recreate all your templates and stuff. But hey, if they're beautifully designed like you say they are, then maybe it is worth it, right? Okay, so we've reached now the end of the training. So I'll be sharing with you guys the simple sequence that I use inside of my business to welcome new subscribers, either to a simple freebie that maybe it doesn't have too much purpose, as in it doesn't drive to like a higher ticket sale, or subscribers that are just opting into through your website, no freebie, no nothing. They just want to hear from you. So this is all about being top of mind, getting them to remember who you are, why they signed up, and what they can get out of potentially working with you. So like I mentioned, 5 steps. The first is simple welcome email. So just hello, add a little bit of personality. If you want, tell them like who you are. Don't go crazy into your offers or anything like that at this point, because you want to make sure you actually build the relationships first. So the first one, simple welcome email. Don't overthink it. The second one, you want to educate. So most of the time, the reason people might sign up to an email list or whatever that may be is because they want to learn from you. That's probably why they signed up to the freebie. That's probably what your call to action said on your website. They want to learn from you as the expert in whatever it is that you teach, you do, you offer as your services. So your second email, make sure that you're sharing some value. So have some sort of like, have a key tip. Make sure you're providing value in some way. So if you think of like a mini training that you would typically do on Instagram, feel free to include like the Coles Notes or summarized version of that in this email sequence. Make sure that essentially you're either providing value so that you're solving a problem for them. It can be small, it doesn't have to be like a huge thing or like their biggest problem in their business, but solve some sort of immediate problem that they can fix. So give them some sort of transformation so that they can feel like they've already seen success through simply signing up to your email sequence, so that it can get them excited to read your next email. So the third one is relationship building. You've already welcomed them, you've already provided value. Now it's time to let them know who you are. So introduce yourself, tell them something personal, make it more of a, not so much like a business transaction, even though, yes, I do want you to tell them what you do and what you offer. In case they're not aware, you want to make sure that people associate you with your offers and your services and not have like a vague idea of like, okay, so what is it that they do again? So relationship building, tell them what you do. But again, with relationship building, you want to make sure that you're treating people as like real people and real relationships. So share a little bit, whatever you feel comfortable. Obviously, if you're a very private person, you're going to have to be a little bit more creative with this, but share maybe like, I don't know, if you love traveling, share a little bit of that, like a funny anecdote or something. Tell a little bit of a story so that people start to resonate with that and get to know you on a more personal level, so they like you. And they're, again, not only did you provide value, but now you're funny. Oh my goodness. Like if you're funny, if you're not funny, think of something else. But actually Flowdesk has a free trial, 30 days. Okay, yeah. And since it's pretty new, they have a discount where you can get 50 off forever. That is huge. That's amazing. I'll definitely look into that and just see how it compares with what I have right now. But yeah, the whole like limited time trials, they don't really entice me that much, because it's not like you can get value within 30 days and then if it's not a good fit, then you got something out of it. It's literally like you try it, and then if it doesn't work, then you have to start from scratch somewhere else, and that kind of makes me sad. But if you guys are okay with that, go ahead. I'm not gonna like deter you from trying Flowdesk. I have heard amazing things. This probably is the best time to sign up and at least test out the designs and the flows and the automations. And if it's easy to use, then at least you know, and you did take advantage of that free trial. Just for somebody transferring, I feel like that would be a little bit of heartache to do 30 days, then it doesn't work and you have to quickly exit out of there without having even really tested it. But regardless, good to know. Okay, back on track. So you welcomed them, you educated, and you built a relationship. Next email, you want to really touch on the pain points. So for this, you would have had to do some market research about your ideal client and what it is that they struggle with. But I want you to take that research and that knowledge that you have about your audience and touch on it. So show them that they have some sort of problem or something that they need help with. So they start thinking and associating. You won't sell at this point yet either, but they will start associating you with those problems and the transformation that they can actually get. So paint a good picture for them and how it is that their life could change if they were to change and fix this problem inside of their business, inside of their life, whatever the problem is. So you touched on the pain point, 4th email. The 5th email, as part of the simple sequence and welcome sequence, is to pitch. So at this point, you've built rapport, they know who you are, they signed up to listen to you in the first place. So they're already a little bit interested in what you have to say, even if they don't know what it is. So the 5th email is where you go ahead and pitch your offer. Like I said, because this is a simple email sequence, you want to make sure that you're not driving the sequence into like a high ticket offer, because 5 emails and this simple system is not enough to nurture these people into paying $500, $1,000, $2,000 into your services. It has to be something more basic. So leave it open-ended. Offer them a free discovery call, and that way you can talk about, let's say you've been nurturing them for your brand design services. Then you can talk about, hey, this is how I can help you in your business. This is how I can help you reach your goals. These are my packages. What do you think? I'd love to work with you. And you do your entire spiel inside of the sales call, the free discovery call. But for the pitching inside of the email, just offer a free call. It's simple. It took you no time at all to draft 5 simple emails that really are just one educational, one relationship building where you're just talking about yourself, which should be fairly easy to do, and 3 pain points, and then you just sold. So at that point, you have a 5 simple email sequence that can guide everybody indefinitely for the remainder of your business and your life and whatever. Maybe you might want to edit it if your entire business changes, but in theory, you can use it indefinitely and continue to attract, nurture, and sell to people on an ongoing basis. And at a minimum, you're just reminding people that you're. So when it comes to these 5 emails, I don't recommend that you're sending them like on a continuous basis, like every single day. Do spread them out a little bit. It doesn't matter too much how you do it, but let's say as like a rough formula, you could have the welcome email sent automatically once they sign up, then the educational email right the next day so they don't forget about you. Relationship building, throw it like 2 days later. Pain points, maybe 2 or 3 days later, and then the pitch a day later. That way, within, let's say, I'm making this up, but let's pretend that was a span of a week and a half or 2. That's probably where that gets you. You will have nurtured these leads and gotten them either interested in talking to you because you offered a free discovery call and you showed them what their life could be like by either working with you or by, at a minimum, fixing the barriers and the problems that they have inside of their business. And on the other hand, if you don't get a potential new call, a new client, new whatever, at a minimum, they know who you are, what you do, and that's the best thing you can get out of there, because then going forward, you will continuously send out random emails, which, remember, they can just be emails that direct to your blog. They could be emails where you repurpose your content from social media platforms that you're already using, so you're not creating content from scratch. So this is not about creating more work for you. It's just about maybe expanding a little bit on the content that you already came up with. And the content you're coming up with is content that you're in theory an expert in, so it shouldn't be too hard. Like if this is an exercise that is becoming too time consuming and too hard for you, maybe it's time to take a step back and take a look at what it is that you're doing. Are you overthinking it? Are you trying to make it a bigger project than it is? Are you losing sight of what you're trying to do with these emails? And maybe it's just time to simplify it and maybe ask for some advice and do a little bit of Googling, hop on a call with somebody who maybe is an actual expert in email marketing, whatever it may be. If it's too complicated right now, you're probably kind of missing the point a little bit, because one email a week, one a month, I know it's an extra task, but trust me, once you kind of get the ball rolling, it's not as hard as it should be. But yeah, it shouldn't be too complicated. Start with like one a week or one a month, whatever you feel comfortable with. Pick a platform to begin with. Just keep it simple, and you can like simply, easily, slowly, essentially chip away at all of the different tasks in order to get yourself set up on email marketing, and make sure that you have a marketing strategy that you actually own and that you can have forever, regardless of what social media platforms decide to do going forward. So that is the end of the training. If you guys don't have me on Instagram, my handle is StephWharton_. Hope you guys have an amazing Friday and an even better weekend, and enjoy life. Bye, guys.